It's a story about King Solomon and the Shadim. And the Shadim are these demons that they were created right as the seventh day of creation was coming to an end, and they were only like half created. So basically they are these souls or spirits without bodily vessel. The king of all of the demons, this guy named Ashmedai, manages to trick King Solomon into releasing him, and he throws him extremely far away. So King Solomon is off like somewhere really far away, walking around, and meanwhile the king of the demons takes his place. Finally, time passes. King Solomon manages to struggle his way back to Jerusalem, and he goes before the court. He gives his case, he says he's the king, and they start doing an investigation. And they find out that he basically is having sex with his wives wearing socks. And then this is like very strange, and they realize the reason he's doing this in socks is to cover up the telltale feet of a demon. They're like crow feet. The figure of the shade, which is this demon, is then prevalent throughout the Middle Ages in all kinds of different communities. So this demon is actually considered to be real by large numbers of people. It lives in your basement. It also lives in breadcrumbs that are brushed to the side of the room. It also comes out at night, so it lives in any kind of open water you leave out overnight. And if you drink the water, you can become inhabited by the demon. It turns out this is actually still something that some Jewish families, they know about the demons. You know how to find the demon is you have to put ashes all around your bedside at night. And in the morning, if there's crow feet patterns in the ashes, you know the demon has visited you. Apparently, in Eastern Europe, there's actually a legal case, a court case, in which the inhabitants of a house sued demons that lived in their basement. So there was actually a documented court case between the demons from the basement, the cellar, and the occupants of the house. And basically the demon's argument was that a previous occupant of the house had had sexual relations with a lady demon. They had a family, and when that occupant died, he left his demon family the basement as their inheritance. Subsequently, a different family came and bought the house, full price, cellar and all, not knowing about the demon family living in the basement. And so they tried to kick out the demon family. Demon family was causing them trouble, breaking stuff, making problems. And so yeah, they had a lawsuit, and the demons lost. They had to bring in a major important rabbi to come and exorcise them from the inhabitants of the basement. And I guess out of the whole Ferguson, in light of what happened there, I guess there's been so much soul searching, and like I hadn't, before the Ferguson, I obviously knew that racism was prevalent. I obviously knew that black men were incarcerated at absurd rates. I knew a lot of these facts, but I hadn't really ever thought about what it would be like to walk down the street as a black man. Basically, it was a case of a young black man named Mike Brown, 18 years old, who was shot to death by a police officer. He was entirely unarmed. The case is still kind of ongoing, and in the town of Ferguson, Missouri, there have been all kinds of protests going on for, I guess, a couple of weeks now. I mean, it's kind of the ultimate scary story in a way. It's like almost like being considered a monster, being considered guilty until proven innocent, just because of, some bodily thing, which is of course the way you look. You have to go around with this constant fear of other people's fear of you. I have a lot of fear as a woman walking in the city, but it's never that second level where it's a fear of someone else's fear of you. I can't even imagine, because I've never felt that I was scary to anyone. And I think, of myself, and when I walk around the city and when I see a strange man, I feel that fear too. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I have this fear as well.